All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back from lunch. Thank you everyone for coming back as quick as they did. Apologize for the moment I took there to get some numbers clarified. I'd like to start with the auditor's budget, since the auditor was not here when we were doing budgets last week, to make sure that
Since we left on planning commission, can we fix the FICA, the perf, and the workers' comp
Absolutely.
before we?
yes. Page 31. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
No. All right. So the total adjustments for the salaries should be negative 18,000. Are you sure? Did that change? For a total of 424,500. 424,500 as the total for salaries. For FICA, the adjustment should be negative 1,377 for a total of 32,799. For PERF, negative 2,464 for a total of 43,035. Then workers' compensation, negative 216 for a total of 5,145.
All righty, thank you. Any other adjustments?
Just the
Totals?
total. In the total adjustments is negative 23,645. 47, sorry. For a total of 633,524.
All righty. Now, any other adjustments? Bless you.
It's 41, 45.
Do you have any more, Elizabeth?
No, that's
Okay. Now, if council would, we'll start with auditor's budget. Yes, sir. Yes, I've forwarded on to everyone. You're welcome. All right, page 7. You ready? Page 7, auditor's budgets. Yes, Fund 126. The Department 126, Fund 1000. All right. Ed, did you want to make some comments or clarifications on what we talked about with Tanya last week?
In reference to the,
What adjustments we made?
okay. Yes, I've got a few of them here. If we start off on line 107, I'm not sure if she brought this up. I assume she probably did, but that position for the senior plat room deputy, we eliminated that position coming into this next year. So when that person retired, we didn't keep that position open. The part-time money, you reduced it to 5,000. We're good with that. Which is line 198.
I thought we left that at 10,000. Okay.
The next one down is line 126, which is overtime. We had put in $10,000. One of the reasons we put that in is because the new handbook updates, we no longer have comp time available to the employees. So these ladies up here working need to be compensated. So the way we compensate without comp time is money. So that money is needed to be available at the part-time line to pay them. Because we can't pay them out part-time, because they're full-time employees. We're one of the few offices that has overtime money available by state statute to pay out for obvious reasons, but we got the budget hearing, the year-end financial reports, monthly reports by statute we have to upload. So sometimes those things take longer than, you have to stay after 4 o'clock, make sure it's get done. So I'm requesting the council to reconsider paying that $10,000 back in.
No,
Mike?
I asked for it to be used out of the other funds.
Right, that was similar question, whether that could be used out of an eligible standard deduction fund.
For the plat book.
We're checking, we're actually in communication with the State Board of Accounts in reference to the plat room and eligible deductions. There are limitations on how those monies can be used, and it's going to require a conversation to get clarification on what those truly mean.
When do you think we'll get that?
But should have it next week, but I think the plat room can only be used for plat room people. So that's 1/2 per people out or 15 people in our office.
That's what I'm sorry.
And the plat room doesn't do financials, so the things I mentioned about budgets and year-end reports, monthly reports, they can't do those for us. If you look at the revenue on the eligible deductions, we only brought in 37,000 last year, and that money keeps going down every year. The revenue on that fund. And we've been using it for 7 or 8 years now, and the balance just continues to decrease. So it's not a long-term solution.
What are we pulling in from there? Again?
You know, I mean, where's the revenue come
Yeah,
from? So it's when taxpayers own more than one home, typically out of state or another county, and they'll put on there that they live there. It's their primary residence. They can only have one residence. So people who live in Florida, for example, can't declare Florida and the state of Indiana as their primary residence. And they go out and find those and collect the money from those taxpayers. When they didn't pay the property taxes, then they give us the money.
What else, Ed?
Next one is office supplies. That was reduced because we originally came and requested 15,000. I don't know if you're aware that we actually purchase paper for the county in bulk, and departments essentially purchase it off of us to use in their office. That purchase last year was $15,000. So departments would not be able to buy the paper from us eventually because we don't have money to buy the paper. So that money goes back into that fund line. At the end of the year, it goes back into the general fund anyway.
Okay.
So it's almost sure. No, on overtime, I budget 10.
No, for last year.
Well, for last year, yes.
Paid on 40-hour overtime, 32 to 40 hours.
After 32 and a half hours, we have to pay them an hourly wage. After 40 hours, we pay them time and a half. We can't pay straight wages out of part-time because they're full-time employees. So that may have to come out of the overtime line.
Okay, so you're anticipating twice the amount of overtime next year.
Well, in the past, we had comp time that we could use, which that's the reason we never used that and hardly paid anything out. Because we used time as their way of being compensated instead of money. Now, we don't have comp time as a way of compensating them. Our only option is money. So that means that next year, if we don't have overtime money, we cut all of our budgeting time off at 4 o'clock. Because we don't have the staff up here to do it.
So what's the change to comp time?
It's eliminated.
We've eliminated it
Yes.
across the board.
Not all. Some of us have our own handbooks, we still have some, but in the Delaware County handbook. Sorry. I was just talking to Stephen Brand about that because I wasn't aware of that, but in the Delaware County handbook, it has been cut, but the courts, prosecutor has their own, sheriff has their own, that we follow our own handbook and then default to the county handbook if it's not in our handbook. The court, I can say, has comp time because we don't have it in our budget for overtime monies. So
Is that a state statute that allows that?
I have no idea. I know that we follow a statute that allows comp time, but you have to pay either comp time or overtime. You either have to allow comp time or pay overtime. I do know that. And we allow the comp time because it's not in our budget to do overtime. I'm just speaking for courts. So we have comp time policy that they have to use it within 90 days. And they sign off on that. So it's
Very
above and
fast,
beyond
state
what
statute.
the Delaware County policy was.
Hmm.
Because I was not aware that they cut that in the Delaware County policy. That's why I was talking to Mr. Brand about. I was like, what? When did that happen? So I don't know about the other offices that have their own handbook. Fred, I'm sure you have your own.
Now, was your question, does state law allow multiple handbooks, or
Mhm.
was it?
Basically, or, yeah, I mean,
So elected officials are not bound by the Delaware County handbook, okay? So under FLSA rules, as Ed explained, anything over 32 and a half hours that they work, you have to pay them straight time up to 40, then they're eligible for overtime, okay? Whether I agree with what I'm about to say or not, it doesn't matter. Ed does not have to follow the Delaware County handbook. If he wants to give his employees comp time, he's fully able to do that because he's an elected official.
not if
Okay.
there's no money.
Say that again?
Not if there's no money.
He absolutely can, because if he gives them comp time, they can take it as time off later. The difference is if you don't fund an overtime or whatever you want to call it line, you have to compensate them in some way. There's no rule that says you can't give people comp time. The difference is when they leave, you would be eligible to pay them for all of that comp time because it's hours that they've worked that they expect some type of compensation for. So even if they go over 40 hours and accumulate comp time at time and a half, you still have to pay them out when they leave. Because that's time that they've
Can they
worked.
roll that year after year, or does that be?
That would be up to Ed.
For
He's, like I
legal,
said, we
Weigh in,
we can hold so much
we'll
comp
hit.
time by policy, right? But it's
I think
not,
what Fred's saying is if you don't approve the money, then the only way we can have them work is to give them comp time.
which is allowed.
I think we need a proper weigh in on that.
Jim, to get your question answered on
Well,
overtime.
yeah, I did, but now my other question, I guess, leading back to that answer would be, how many people do you anticipate, or how many people do you actually have that draw the overtime?
Which would be comp time now,
Well,
because that's how we're compensating.
Extra time.
Almost every employee.
so here's my thing. Number one, they're working 32 and a half hours at straight time. Where in your budget do you allow for the 32 and a half hours of straight time and the 7.5 hours of additional straight time before they get into the overtime? I mean, that's a lot. To me, that's a lot of hours. It's 7.5 hours per week per employee, and then they're working overtime. I don't get it.
After 32 and a half hours, we have to pay.
No, I understand that. I'm questioning where's the efficiency?
He's pulling it from overtime pay.
I
but we don't-
understand that.
We don't have a line item for
Straight pay.
But
additional
they have,
straight
but they're
time.
working an additional, almost another full day before they get in from the 32 hours to the 40 hours, working almost an additional day per person. A, where is that money showing up in a budget that we're looking at? And B, why is there overtime?
If I may. A lot of our employees that do work over, I, as their supervisor, asked to keep that limited to the 40 and under. There have been instances, if there's certain projects that need done by a certain amount of time, you have to understand we've been building over OpenGov for 2 years now. A lot goes into that. A lot of the conversion, we went through an entire number conversion for our chart of accounts. A lot of time went into that. A lot of it was free time by me. I'm compensated with my salary, as you guys made me excluded, so you're well aware how that works. These people are not in that excluded category. Therefore, when they're working on big projects like that, they sometimes, not often, may go over the 40. But I, as the supervisor, have asked the entire staff when they're working over to keep that in the 40 and under range. That's my way of trying to keep a cap on it, you could say, per week, so that they're not getting into that time and a half. Plus, it makes the fact that we still clock in and out on a timesheet. When you get into time and a half, it calcs really weird, So it just makes it easier on me, and easier on you when it comes to paying out when they quit and leave, or they retire, or they whatever. So
Yeah, it's cheaper to pay overtime.
Yes.
But when they go over the 32 and a half, and you need that money, you get
30
it from the overtime line item currently, correct?
if we are to pay overtime, yes. that's
No.
what-
If you have to pay them straight time after 32 and a half hours,
that would
which
be,
is above what their budgeted line item is, you
That would be
pull
an
that money
overtime
from
line.
overtime, right?
that would be correct.
Because there's no other line item in the budget for
Comp,
overages or
comp or
whatever.
whatever.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
That was my
So-
question.
Yeah.
So I think he was
I was trying to figure out
asking
where that
why we have overtime in
No.
our office. I felt like he was asking why.
Well, he's
and-
saying, that-
Both,
yeah.
Okay,
both.
so did I answer your question?
You just
Yeah.
did.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
And there isn't really, is there even in the ability to add a other descriptive line? I mean, we're odd. We don't have 40-hour work weeks, so. you
Well,
know,
I'm not
My-
sure if I understand, so if we pay out of the overtime line,
it's more of the, it's the same bucket. I get it. I'm just saying, like, it's hard to differentiate how much overtime you're paying when you're really just paying the gap from straight time to overtime.
Up
So
to
we
the
don't
side.
know that you guys are working 50 hours a week. We think, you're only working 40 and it's coming out of overtime.
Might be
That's what I'm
working-
saying.
might be
So
working
there's no
37.
tracking of that because
well,
we
do
have
it
32 and a
internally,
half hour work
it's
weeks.
ours on our timesheets.
Say again.
We do it internally because we keep it on our timesheets.
But it doesn't show up in the budget anymore.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Right.
And again,
So yes,
that
whether
makes
it's
sense, I
straight
get
or
it.
whether it's time and a half, it's out of
Yeah,
the
I
overtime
gotcha.
line if it needed to be paid in
Right.
cash money.
understood. And it's still cheaper for us, theoretically, to do overtime line items than it was to accumulate 250 hours of comp time that you end up paying out when people leave. Right? So,
And Fred's correct in what he said as far as the guideline of the handbook, et cetera, and it's the elected official's choice, et cetera. I think this was just our approach to trying to help with the streamlining of the handbook as the HR department was hoping for.
I will warn you, based on the amount of comp time, because you made the comment 250 hours. If you think about the hours that are accumulated each year, I don't know if $10,000 would be enough.
sure. That's what, yeah. I'm not suggesting we go back to that. If that's what you're,
No, I just don't want
Okay.
you, I think it may, when I come back and need more money, I don't want you to say, why do you need more money?
well, no, you explained it now and it makes sense. And I don't think anybody really put two and two together relative to the gap of straight time that we don't account for, basically.
Commissioner Brand, do you have a clarification for us?
Yeah, I have a much different view of the handbook. It is not a guideline. It is actually the rule. And I would have a much different view of departments picking and choosing which portion of the handbook that they choose to follow. The reason comp time was removed by the handbook committee, I was not there when the handbook committee decided this. I actually wanted a much more strict policy, to be clear, was because people accumulate all this time. And then when they leave an organization, or a department, and they leave the county, they have to get paid out. You guys don't budget for that. No department budgets for that. And it might take, how long? 13 weeks, 6 weeks, you make it up based on the balance to be able to replace that person. And so this was the fix to take care of that. Comp time was blended with vacation time and all into paid time off some time ago. I really wish it would get split back up and it could be properly tracked. I think the courts just actually went and put it, you didn't combine your comp time, just your PTO time. But I have a much different view of the handbook, and I can tell you from my perspective, if departments elect to not follow the handbook, and they do allow people to accumulate comp time, if they leave the organization and they have comp time, I will not approve them to be paid out. I will not support that.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'm in agreement with that because primarily from a liability perspective too. So if every department wants to run their own handbook, they should pay their own liability insurance too. Because I think it's everything, every situation like that, and there's been countless examples explained to me of our HR challenges that we've had, costing us millions of dollars a year potentially in not following the rules. And if we as a county can't follow the rules, then elected officials should take on that responsibility of their own. That's my opinion on that. Because it's not, in the end, the county as a whole is liable for gaps that exist. So we have to be diligent, and I appreciate you, Ed, explaining that to us.
No problem.
Jim, did you get your overtime question at least?
So real quick, back to the
point?
paper.
Yeah, let's
Yes.
go back to office supplies, please.
So nobody in the county has to buy paper of their own?
Yes, they do.
You buy it from him. So everybody else's office supplies does not include paper.
Well, it comes out of their office supply fund.
Okay.
They just
paying to you.
reimburse us to replenish that money.
They're replenishing you.
So your number doesn't need to go up if they're buying it from you.
But he doesn't have a place to take the money in, from what I'm seeing. It
Right, but
goes
we're
back to the
budgeting for
general
it
fund.
twice, is the point.
So even though it gets replenished, it doesn't show up
Am I wrong?
as a revenue
You see what I'm
in
saying?
his office.
Like,
Because it doesn't get quite as back into his account.
right. Right. Is there anywhere else we can put that money? It's not
I
county
think they go
general.
other places.
Well, no, I mean like another outside the county general fund, like, like payroll, where you put the money, they just pay it into there and you guys pay it out of that. I mean, it's not a ton of money, I get it, but,
I mean, theoretically, create a non-reverting fund and stipulate that's done.
yeah, it's
That's a lot
15
of-
grand. It's not really worth the hassle.
Right. So it's always been done this way. It started back during COVID.
Yeah.
Because couldn't get paper. So we were able to find a vendor that sold us a truckload and we could still print.
Trees disappeared during COVID.
I think the manufacturing facility should have. We stayed on them and we spent all kinds of hours trying to find a vendor, but
So I thought we moved that back to 12,000. Did we not?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that still not enough? You're saying?
I had it wiped out as 0.
Oh,
It's 12,000.
I have it
must
as
not be
12.
calculated.
We have it at, minus 3,000 and 12,000.
Well, good.
12 satisfactory.
It's better than 0.
He said he spent.
They spent 15. If that's just paper.
yeah, that gives any other supplies or anything else to purchase. No pencils.
I understand, but based off the conversation we just had is you're buying X number of dollars worth of paper and then they're buying it back from you.
That money goes back into the general, which is the money you control. I could go back and ask for additional appropriation if we run out. If you're asking to stay at 12.
What's the turnaround time for the departments to pay you back for that paper? Is it pretty quick?
Well,
Are you just making the transfer and calling it a day, or
that's 30-day window.
30 day?
Books.
It's your terms is 30 days?
What's the balance in that account today?
Well,
I'm sorry, did you ask for the balance in that?
Okay, on that line.
I haven't. It's been 72% used. Although it started with, it's got money in there, so unexpended balance is 6,400.
That's more than what I had on June 30th.
Office supplies 211, right?
Yeah, June 11th, that 5,760. You're saying it's got 6,400 now.
Could have received a credit for something in return or something. I have no idea.
Let's leave it at 12,000 now. I know you've got more to discuss with us. Then we'll come back and revisit everything if you're to revisit, I guess.
Okay.
What do we do with overtime?
Right now, we're leaving it at 0. I want Ed to get through everything that he'd like to discuss, and then we'll go back through his budget if that's all right.
So the professional services, so we're down to the contractual services, is that correct? That's the one you cut to 0?
No, we cut it to 225,000 is what I show.
225, okay,
250.
all right. So each one of those on that report, for those of you, I think I sent that report to all of you from OpenGov. So the itemized on the contractual services, those are all the different consultants and contractors we use to do our annual reports. Because we're required to do that gap report. So that's what those items are for. The only exception would be TMA, which is the 15,000. TMA is the one, the company gets 33% of the revenue that's for ineligible deductions. So the more they collect, the more that amount is.
So what's your bottom line on the request there? You'd like to see what?
What waivers are requested, because if not, we can't be compliant with the annual report, which is mandated by state law.
So I guess you have got the numbers for next year. Is that what you're basing this on?
Yes. That is correct.
I don't see that we can make much of an adjustment.
I mean, when this first started out to do these reports, it was less than $100,000, and every year the state adds more and more. And you've heard me come to these council meetings saying the workload keeps increasing. Every year they add more and more things that they audit. And when they do that, sometimes we have to go out and get a CPA firm or someone like that to actually compile these reports so it can be put in the final report. Each time that happens, it costs us more money. That takes more staff, more time to do them. Which hence goes to the comp time, which hence now goes to overtime. So it all feeds into an unfunded mandate by the state.
And all that boils down to a $70,000 increase next year over this year.
That's what the numbers are. Look here.
69 to 595. So yeah, 70,000.
So I know you did itemize the contractual services, but 198 of it is not itemized. So you've got the CPA accounting services, you've got at 72, you've got legal fees at 30, DOS at 11, TMA duplicate homestead at 15, gap compilation at 125, And then the rest of it's one, the rest of is just bulked in there, so. And that was the $50,000 increase from 140, or a good chunk of it was increased from just that line. So I think that's, if I can barely remember our conversation from last week. We talked about the gap thing, I think, as well. But you're saying a majority of that cost is actually because of what?
Well, it's all tied to, well, not say all, most of it's tied to the audits. I mean,
Who do we pay for that?
well, Nyhart is, I'm gonna go down the list here.
All these people are involved?
Yes. I mean, there's exceptions. You got the legal fees for the tax sale, deed sale, and other legal costs. You also have the TMA, which is, I've explained where that comes from, for ineligible deductions. But everything else are audits. You got the DOSIT, that's tied to the 4D court.
Oh,
That's,
wait, I'm sorry, I miscalculated.
and that was increased. If
Okay,
you look,
that is,
if you look at the revenue side of that particular line, we used to get about $25,000 a year, and that's going to generate probably more than $300,000 in the next 2 years. Because it's we get reimbursed for our facility out there and the 4D court and people in the prosecutor's office that work in that particular department.
okay.
So
So,
it
I
actually
mean,
generates your money and offsets costs for all this, these contractual services. If you really want to get in the
yeah,
weeds on it, but
I think this is, okay, I've got scribbles here. We were driving around Baker Tilly costs, basically, is what I think the consensus was on the reduction of trying to control those costs from Baker Tilly. Primarily, that was the reduction discussion from back then, or from last week.
and their time has went up primarily because of the additional requirements from the state. So if you notice on the CPA, I'll take it back, the Peterson, the GASB 34, and then you look at GASB 87, 96,
Mm-hmm.
all those things are new ones. So every time they add one, it takes more time for Baker Tilly to essentially check their work. Because this information comes from all these different CPAs and consultants. Goes to Baker Tilly. Baker Tilly then compiles it all, does a compilation, then gives it to Forvis. Forvis gets paid by the state, and they review all of it. So you got audits, checking audits, checking audits. And we're the one gathering all the information to make sure that they have what's needed to do the audit. And I guess, but the picture I'm painting, it's only going to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the perk of being a county over 100,000 in population.
Yep.
This came in, I mentioned it last week too, when Craig Path was our auditor, and it's been a concern for a long time, because to Ed's point, it does continue to grow, which costs money.
I will say, I appreciate that you itemized the contractual services.
Well, it makes it easier for me to explain, trust me.
It is, and we ask that of everybody, which I don't see that in most cases. And it is if it's there, but I know, but I'm saying not all the other all other departments.
I need to do it so I can figure it out, because there's so many, we got so many CPAs and consultants we deal with now, it's more and more difficult to manage all of them.
Ridiculous, yeah. Okay,
So if I had a request to maintain what the request was, or we won't be compliant with our report, which we actually need to get our credit rating. So it's all tied together.
okay.
What else? Next.
So we had adjusted food and lodging and transportation, asking you to pay those out of those other funds,
Again, we don't know that we can pay those. In fact,
conferences.
But the plat room money, we definitely can't do it. Unless they're being sent to plat room school or something. Because plat room money can only be used for anything got to do with transferring properties, anything to do with the plat room. So those people can't even be trained. If they're getting paid out of flight room money, they can't be trained to do something else, but they're not allowed to go do any other work.
What's the contractual services and the ineligible standard deduction for 48K?
That's the one, the TMA? Is that what you're talking about?
I'm not sure.
Yes. So what that's a reference to is, they're the consultant or the contractor that goes out and finds duplicate payments. Or the, not duplicate, people that avoided paying the taxes.
Mm-hmm.
That's their money.
Okay.
We pay them a third of what they collect. They originally wanted 40%. We negotiate down to 33%.
How many plat room people do you have now?
1.5, used to be 2.5, and reduced that by one whole person. That was that senior deputy I told you didn't replace.
Do you have TMA in both the regular budget, general budget, and your ISD budget?
ISD.
In there, the standard deduction. Just trying to figure out if you've got them in there for the same contract twice.
$15,000.
Right, and I just said there was
What page is on ISD?
77.
So in ISD, we got that at 48, right? So we're projecting roughly $150,000 in revenue. I must put that in the wrong fund. I don't think that 15 should be in.
Not be in general.
Correct.
15 of what?
Contractual services out of general.
Correct. Not being there.
Yeah, Elizabeth confirmed, Ed, that 15 is in the open gov under the general
Right.
for the TMA as well. So if the whole 48,000 covers the 33% that you negotiated it down to, then that would be covered.
Right, so the 15 can be removed.
So we could add
267 can go down to 252 is what you're saying. On your
Yes.
request.
Yep.
Okay, so why don't we, at least, well, I don't know, how many are left? You got the conferences and training, you're saying also,
Yeah. Food and lodging. What is your request there, Ed?
So I reduced the food and lodging. We're gonna send less people. Our goal this year was to train our staff. You know, we have a fairly young staff. Our goal is to get everybody trained. Realizing the budget restraints, we decided to reduce the number of people going. We'll still do the same training, but we're just gonna have less people going. So under food and lodging,
Can I say something?
sure.
Because I noticed that you have the 15 that's double, but I think that was an accident because originally on your budget you had the unique computer services in there and it's not in there now.
Right.
So was that what was supposed to be budgeted in general? Because it's not.
Yeah, may have been because we had it doing. Trying to take everything we had.
You're saying it's just labeled wrong?
Yeah,
That's what I.
Unique Computing, they do computer stuff, database for us.
So we're still at that 267, 595 number.
Right.
Food and lodging, what?
Reduce it to 2350. I know you went from 4,000 to 0, but we'd still like to at least send a person to these conferences to get, because one of them was OpenGov, and I talked to Jessica. We're having less people going, but we're able to actually get in the conference for free We just gotta pay for travel and lodging. And most of these conferences pay for the meals, but we gotta get there. We got someplace to stay. Yeah, along with SSI, which are financial system.
What else, Ed?
The bottom one, conferences and training, 393. We're gonna reduce, I know you, originally we had $11,050, took it to zero. We'd request to have 4,800. Again, we're just gonna reduce the number of, because when I go to them, or Tanya, we take it out of the other fund that allows the state to pull from. So these are strictly the employees in our office being funded for training. And some of this training's got to do with webinar training, like Excel, those kind of things. So it's not just conferences and those kind of things, but thing for people to come in and or webinars to train on. And the last one would be under repairs and maintenance, or excuse me, repairs and maintenance software. Right now, we're currently at 153.67. I've talked to Jim Fluke. Jim and I worked earlier in the year in reference to this. There are 3 software packages or options we've got in there. Essentially, our financial software has the financials and the payroll. Guts is our taxing software. I put them in our budget because those are softwares that we use in our office. Because the request of the council is to try to tie the cost to the office. Jim had him in his also. We never got back together who was going to leave it in the budget, so we both have it in there. So we can reduce our budget and leave Jim's the way it is, since you already more or less approved his. It's $119,106 of reduction. $119,106.
I'm actually putting that one in here.
Now, I will tell you that we had a conference or a discussion with Jim this morning. This is based on this year's cost. Him and I both have reached out to the companies. They've not been able to provide us updated quotes. We estimated probably on the high end 8% increase, which comes up at $9,528. Okay.
That we need to put into his.
Well, I put it into his, or you can add it to mine, however you want to do it, but probably putting his would be better.
Is that negotiated every year?
Yes. Now, I can tell you that Guts,
8%'s huge.
well, Guts had a 4%, I believe, last year, and the year before that, they had 0. So they don't typically go at 8. That's where I said 8's going to cover it. The VIP, it's been running roughly 5. So this estimate's high. Right, I think it's safe to say there's $119,106 you can remove from this budget.
Yeah, and if you said it was like 9,300 or something for the uptick.
Yeah, 98,528.
Yeah, I think it'd be okay.
If we run across that, we need to.
Yeah.
So that's,
Jim's been coming pretty good, and then we also have a little bit of edit, so it'll be okay.
so that's. So with the additional request and the offset of 119,
Sorry,
I'm very-
hang on one. Bill, you were looking for that number?
Yeah,
We just did the 119,106
that's the number.
of reduction.
on the one
I
line.
don't want the reduction, what's the number?
Oh, 34,561? 34,561?
Thank you.
So what you got?
I'm so sorry. We were working on numbers down here. What'd you guys just say?
We deducted 362, 119,106,
Mm-hmm.
34,561.
Okay. So we're not going to account for any percentage of increase. We'll wait and see.
We'll
Is
wait.
that where
and
we're at?
we'll get it from Jim, and if we need to, figure it out. I
Okay.
think that's,
That's one to make you aware of it.
yeah, I appreciate it.
Some history there.
Anything else?
That's everything that I've got concerning this, as
Alright.
far as our budget goes.
Okay.
So we have we've got 5 lines that the auditor has asked us to revisit and potentially adjust. We've got overtime, office supplies, which I think you said was all right leaving, contractual services, food and lodging, and conferences and training. Recommendations. We zeroed that out.
Ed said he was fine with that you wiped it out.
I'll take it back if you want. I'm not gonna argue with you.
Did we have any other definite changes in this so that I can get OpenGov matching?
We're
Not
working
yet.
on them right now.
Okay, okay.
I mean, you know,
119.
I appreciate the contractual services issue, and if he's, so I think we need to put that back. If those are hard costs currently, then, you know, there's no reason not to.
I will tell you that Baker Tilly is an estimate. They said that's what they put in
I
the
know,
email. It's an estimate.
everything's an estimate.
It's based on hours. Like legal costs, it's the other ones are hard numbers.
Okay.
It's a cost for that particular report.
Yeah.
And the more efficient, and we're working on this with Baker Tilly, we've discussed processes internally so that they get reports and access.
Because
to-
200 of that is for Baker Tilly.
Right. So we are working with them on how to reduce that cost. We had a conference call last year, and we had another one this spring. Essentially come up with ways to help reduce their time. So we are doing things on the back office side to help reduce that cost. But at the end of the day, it's still money.
Ed, is any of that 200 related to Delaware County Redevelopment Commission reconciliations? They paying on their own?
They pay on their own.
Still, yeah, okay. Make sure it had bled over into your office.
Yeah, I think we get separate, they actually set a separate account number for that.
Good.
So we're able to make sure it gets paid appropriately.
Okay.
Office supplies,
3,000.
we,
Plus 3,000. I was debating the contractual service, which is a pretty hard number. It's probably.
Okay. All right, so we're putting that back.
all right, so contractual services is going back to 267,595. $12,000.
12,000. You might come back next year.
We didn't know.
Thoughts
What?
on overtime?
Oh,
Turn your mic on if you want.
he has to have a way to compensate him. We all agree to that.
I think I'd rather him be able to pay them out versus comp time.
Big thing about comp time was there was no limit on when they had to use it. Emily's got one, she said, and that's fine. And that was what would hurt us bad.
Jim, turn your mic on.
I think that, again, he can stipulate that, that has to be, comp time has to be used within a calendar year.
Or within 90 days like Emily does.
I'd rather see that.
But
But it's already been adjusted, so we either have, I mean, it's already, the handbook says there's no comp time, so.
We'd like to follow the handbook. I mean, it's,
so if we don't have it,
I mean, part of our, as the office, try to follow the rules and the laws, and I don't like going outside of that. So,
I thought you could change that.
he could, but he doesn't want to.
right, I'd prefer to stay with what the
He wants
county
to
has
use the county's
as far as,
handbook.
so we're all consistent. like Matt says, you know, if everybody's got the same rules, it's,
Now, you haven't used any of your 5,000 this year so
Correct.
far,
because we always use comp time to
because we still have comp this year
not anymore. I mean, it's,
as of like, when was that?
I believe the meeting was in the third meeting, because it was tabled.
that's up for,
It was earlier this year,
I think, April timeframe.
April, maybe.
Mr. Clerk, you have
Excuse me,
helpful comments?
I wasn't aware of the handbook change, but I've got a huge problem if I can't use comp time. And it would be a very expensive problem for the county. Because my staff at election time piles up the hours. And, you know, I feel like it's cheaper and better for the county to give comp time than pay the overtime and the time and a half and the taxes and everything else that goes in on that. But, those would be some big numbers for me, and I'll work with anybody on what they want to do, but yeah, we've got to pay these employees. We can't, and you know, they're trained. They, you know, it's part of my clerk staff and all of my election room staff.
You allow them to, they roll over, do they have to use their comp time within a certain?
We don't
period of
have a
time?
limitation on it, but I wouldn't be against that. I'm, you know, I just need, we got to come up with something, because if we're not going to use comp time, then I'm going to have to put a bunch of overtime in both my clerk's budget and my election room budget. Because like I say, we got to pay them. We can't work them and not pay them.
I think
We
we're all
always
in
try to-
agreement of that.
We try to get the comp time worked out within 90 days. I mean, that's just,
That might be kind of rough for some of my
and
90
it might be
days,
rough for some
but
else. I'm just saying that that's what's in the county handbook.
you got
Not
to
for-
make
not
this.
for you.
Oh,
So we
okay.
tried to go by that.
No.
but it's,
Well, no, but I think this would apply to you.
Emily, do you have a helpful comment?
I think this lies within the handbook, right? So people are saying, one, they want everybody to follow the same handbook, and some of us have our own. Two, if the current handbook has been changed, not giving comp time anymore, but as elected officials, they're allowed to go from, you know, do their own policy to have comp time, then that right there takes care of it. And three, I've been told the handbook has tons of issues that need fixed. So I don't feel like the handbook is where it needs to be currently anyway. So I don't know, debating over the handbook and the policy is the issue. It's your decision whether to budget money. I think anything can be governed by a policy, putting a policy in place. If he says, hey, I'm trying to follow the policy, and you're saying, sorry, we're not going to budget it, well, then he has to go back to HR and say, we have no money, so you guys have to fix this policy. Correct?
Thank you, Emily. Now, to the clerk situation, we'll deal with that when we get to your department. Right now, we're on auditor and his request for overtime. Request is 10,000. Currently, we have it 0.
No,
Any
we have-
suggestions? I mean, I'd like to at least put it at 5,000 and
I think we should put at last year's number and address it.
Sounds like I agree with the $5,000, and I think that the department heads probably need to get together with HR and whoever else the council might designate to.
It's Commissioner's handbook.
Okay, thank you. So then the commissioners need to get together with the people and come up with a handbook that's going to be possibly universal, more so than what it sounds like it is today.
I'd agree with you, Jim. A council member or two needs to be there just to be informed and up to date. Thoughts from the rest of council?
I concur with the group's assessment of 5,000.
Comment? All right. The food and lodging requested was 2350. Recommendations?
Let's go with it.
Yeah. He cut
I'd
it down.
recommend going back to 2025's number. Anybody else?
Pardon me.
Going back to 2025's number.
Meet halfway, I think, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you're budget number 2350, that was just kind of a shot in the dark anyway, is that correct?
No, we took the cost of the hotel rooms, called them up and asked what the price were and come up with, that's how we come up with, let's see here. That's how we got because the room's like $250 a night. It's location because they go to like the Embassy Suites or someplace. So we took the cost of those particular rooms and the number of nights needed.
So for your conferences like that, I mean, what we pay, $140?
One of them is for 5 days, and the other one, I believe, is for, or I should say 4 nights, and then the other one is like 3 nights.
So these are not
So-
state-funded training sessions. These are typically put on by a vendor or a group of vendors. So we don't get state rates or anything like that.
The Open Gov training is up by O'Hare. So lodging is gonna be a little higher.
And
Yeah,
SSI is
Yeah.
held in Ohio. It varies. I
Up by
think
Sandusky this year.
this coming year is Sandusky, Ohio.
That's
So
how
they-
we come up with the number. We actually got quotes from the hotels, et cetera.
I still recommend leaving it at 2350, but I'm at the. here's
Any
the
other
rest of it.
thoughts?
If he's done his homework, then I agree with the 2350,
So,
which is a reduction of 1650.
Well, up from the 0 that we had, so.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll make the consensus, that'll be the 4th one, so 2350 on that for now. And then conferences and training requested is 4,800. Suggestions?
You know, just I guess maybe a little bit more of an explanation of where the 4,800, where you got that number. Conferences and training.
Again, so one of them's with our financial software, the other one's with OpenGov. Those are the 2 large ones. Then we also have Excel training that we plan to give and provide to the employees. 4th one was some training on our financial software also. So we're going to do some in-house webinars from the vendor. They charge $250 an hour to do training on our software.
Again,
Well,
it sounds like,
it's-
he's done his homework. I would at this point in time concur with the 4,800.
6,250 is a reduction.
I'm in agreement.
same,
Alright, so leaving that one at the 4,800, the requested amount.
On postage and freight, I had down a $4,600 reduction.
Yes.
Have we approached that?
We approached that with all the other postages. It was just part of that reduction that we did across
Like
the
a
board.
percentage
Okay,
reduction.
all right.
Did you get all those changes, Elizabeth?
Maybe. Hold on. We're off by a couple dollars here.
did. What did we do about transportation? Put up last year, what was the last thing I had, correct? 700?
700.
All right, we done with that?
We're getting the final numbers from Elizabeth, and that will be with the general one, and then what you want to do, move on to the flat
Commissioners?
room and the
Oh,
standard deduction ones of his.
still got to go over those too.
I don't have any changes requested. I mean,
Okay.
We didn't make any tweaks really. I don't
Right.
think.
I am checking to see how we can use that money.
Okay.
And if there's,
Yeah, I've got you on my list to ask next time to see what you found out from.
I didn't
The
think you
state.
lose your list.
Don't lose the list.
Yeah, so in the plat room, we can remove the overtime on that. Because the only thing that can be used for is secret funds.
77?
71
No.
or 77.
All right.
So-
I'll like to make the request when you do ask the state, because it seems like this fund is growing over time, how we can try to stretch those uses for the funds.
That would be your legislators to change that law. It's in the statute, they send it the statute.
Okay. Okay. So you're
So
saying,
it's similar to the recorder's fund. I mean, they're designed to support that particular department, those functions. Having said that, I don't know if it's enough to support a whole staff.
well,
Yeah.
when we talked with Tanya last week, I made the comment that the revenue for next year is estimated at 50,000. We're spending just a shade over 50,000, but now you've knocked 10,000 off of it, so it's only roughly 41,000. So it's going to grow for next year. And so now trying to figure out whether the plat book employee and a half, whether any of that can be pulled from this fund for that employee and a half.
The half is already paid out of that fund.
Right.
The part-time, that
Okay,
goes
so
towards,
that's not a full-time employee that's
that's
split.
a part-time
Okay.
employee who's only
So
part-time.
then it'll be, instead of the half, the full-time, whether they can be partially paid out of there and just what the details would be. Which I think you and I have discussed briefly about it, but like more details for entire council on that.
So we're taking the 10 grand out of the plat book maintenance overtime, correct?
We can,
Okay.
yes.
Done.
Yeah, because the part-time person's not gonna be earning any overtime.
Thank you.
It's in 1181.
Okay.
I update these girls on 1181 real quick, and then they can give you the numbers for the general?
Yes.
Jump to 1181 on 71. Line 126, zero that out.
Yes.
And that'll make a total reduction of 10,120.
Let's take a 5-minute bathroom break.
We had, I'm sorry, 11,120. I wrote it down wrong. Sorry. Typo.
All righty. Thank you. Welcome back. Elizabeth, do you have updated numbers for the auditor's office and the general fund? Would you give them to us, please?
Okay, so the total adjustments for the auditor budget is negative $178,072. The total is $1,209,462.
463.
I got 463 as well. It's just a
Rounding error.
I think that might have been, there was one adjustment you guys said that was off by $1. It was,
The negative 119,106 should be 107.
Oh, what line is that? Oh, 119, 107.
Yeah, it's line 362.
362. 119, 107.
Yeah. The total number is 1,209,462.
All righty. Thank you. We'll ask the commissioner's representative, Commissioner Brand, are you ready?
No theme song today?
I can do that. Not everybody found humor.
First question I'd like to have your input on, and then council can help guide us on what number to use, is on the health insurance premiums savings amount. And then follow up with the savings amount on the clinic that you truly think we can expect to be able to budget for.
Yep, so I think when we talked last week, starting with the clinic, the last one first, I think we talked about $360,000 total savings. Is that right? So that would be premiums plus the additional claims for emergency care or medicines. So I think that whatever that total cost is, I don't know where all that comes out of. I think it's all in the premiums right now, but that'd be about $360,000. And then on the healthcare side, I don't have my notes in front of me. What did we talk about last?
Well, our
Thursday.
total was 850 grand.
Right, so it's 500 and it was like 500 and 360 if I recall right. I'm still pretty confident in that. So we had a meeting earlier this week with Marathon. They just sent me an updated proposal, what they call an investment summary, and I'm still pretty confident that we can save that amount of money at the clinic, because I think we were probably paying IU probably close to $800,000 a year, between the $500,000 flat fee plus emergency services plus medications and things, and this leaves the medications in the Marathon clinic.
All right, so I have written down the 360,000 from moving to the new clinic. And then you're saying the difference between 850 and 360 is how much you're expecting on the premiums?
$500,000,
Half a million.
490,000.
Okay.
Yep.
So now council, having heard that, and Madam, I'll lean on you since you're expert in this field.
Say Holiday Express.
I mean, we're looking for a number that we can conservatively budget that we feel like we're going to save.
I want to put the pressure on Commissioner Brand to save that money. I think we should allocate all 850. I think that's his goal, and it's hopefully even conservative, but I think that that's the route we should go. And I think we even talked about this potentially, that if we had to make a health insurance premium change sometime next year and a mid-year adjustment to premiums, and if we decide not to do anything with the premiums, we can always change that. And if we look like we're going to have some major gap, then that's something we could take into account too. So I'm perfectly fine putting that in there that way. On top of some other, kind of back of the napkin, I'm sure we've got some wiggle room scenarios. So that's my take.
We stand this year,
For health insurance,
we're having a good claims year, bad claims
Since I wasn't here before, I can't answer that. I can tell you that in my experience, the county's costs are extremely high. I think I,
Of claims,
who'd it
health
come
insurance
from?
claims.
Who'd it come from? Who'd that report come from?
Did that come from the auditor's office? Was it the fund that it gets paid out of? We were given a rolling balance.
Yes.
Is that the 4701?
I do believe that's correct. I do
Well-
remember getting that bill.
Have you been getting?
No, sir, I have not.
I mean, right now, there's, as of 8/31, there was $321,000 in there. The beginning balance was 846 at the beginning of the year. We've taken in 4.5 million and expended 5 million. And some change. No, that's not right. Net revenue is 4.5, oh yeah, 4.5, and expenses are about 5 million, so that's why the balance is significantly lower. I don't know what today 4701 is.
If you would tell me what you want from her, I'll be happy to text her and ask her for whatever it is you need for the 4701 account.
I think before we were getting a monthly update on what was brought in and what was spent. Does that sound correct, Bill?
I know what you're talking about from when I was head bookkeeper in the treasurer's office. I do remember that. I'd kind of forgotten about it, you know what I mean? But I'm sure she was unaware that she's even, that you used to get that, I should say. So, I mean, she can implement that again, but if there's some numbers that you need today, I'll be happy
Do you
to.
want any numbers from that account for today?
I don't think so.
I don't either. How comfortable is council, and I'm gonna ask Commissioner, with that $850,000 number? Don't everybody jump in at once.
I'm comfortable, or I wouldn't have said it.
He's comfortable. I'm comfortable.
Sorry about that. I asked him if he was comfortable, and he said he was. So, yeah, pressure's on.
I like it.
I'd like for you to reach your goal and go well beyond that. But that gives us a conservative number, attainable, I hope. And like I said, I really would like to see a larger savings from that. Further questions I wanted to ask, as far as the staffing for housekeeping, and then in your opinion, other cost savings items you might have from the commissioner's offices.
Yeah, we've been talking about housekeeping, and a couple things that we're looking at is potentially contracting that. I do believe that we could make, through properly studying the jobs that are done and the time elements associated with completing those tasks and better organizing their time, I think 3 part-time head reductions are feasible. Those folks make $15 an hour, work 28 hours a year. So that's $21,000 a year, basically, if they don't get benefits. So 3 part-time positions, I think that's $63,000 a year. I think that is our target right now for reducing the cost of housekeeping and improving our housekeeping services by properly laying out a checklist with time elements associated to it so they can get their job done.
Is that gonna be staged in?
Yeah, we are just beginning, so hope to have that completed by the end of the year. And then
Do
you
you
asked me
think-
a second question. Is there anything else?
Do you have a
Um,
follow-up with the
yeah.
housekeeping question?
Yeah, so that's all part-time money?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on a second, please. Oh, that's in the salary line?
Yeah.
Oh, I just need to pay the line.
Page 46.
So you guys got 142.5 for part-time. Obviously, there's way more than that included in there. So you do or don't want to take anything out of that?
For the rest of this year?
No, for next year.
No, I'm saying for next year, you can take out 63,000.
Are we
hope-
on
I hope to
commissioners
phase that in.
part-time? Is that what we're
Yes.
on?
Yeah. 198, 101.
And could you tell me the reduction amount again, please?
He says, well, how about it even 60? Would that be fair?
Yes,
It's a softball, sure.
you need one every once in a while.
Negative 60. That's,
My follow-up question to that would be, do we need to increase in contractual services if you're going to move towards that type of,
Yeah, I don't think so because we're still leaving money in the part-time line. That still leaves some heads. I think there's 7 total people in the housekeeping. A couple of those are full-time, some of them are part-time. And if we do end up switching to contractual services or come to you and ask to move the money from part-time to contractual services.
okay? It's good news then.
Other than housekeeping, is that all there is in part-time?
In part-time, yes. There's another activity been looking at as we evaluate workload and job elements and the time elements associated with those activities. Haven't fully communicated this yet, so I'm gonna try to be delicate with my presentation here. But there's a full-time position that can be reduced out of the commissioner's organization, and those duties can be reallocated to other heads, and that amount of salary is right about $50,000. And we will be,
Plus benefits.
plus benefits, we will be making that move.
Okay.
So we can't currently budget for that yet.
Unless you can, I don't know what your budget looks like, unless you can take it out of the bottom line, so to speak, for the commissioners.
give
But yeah,
back
I'm not
a-
willing to tell you exactly where it is because I'm still trying to manage
I
that.
think we put a hold on that as well.
Okay, but so then back to, we're gonna take another 60K out of salaries, so that puts it at
part-
73,026, is that right?
Part-time.
Out of part-time, yeah. 73. What did you say?
Oh,
Did you get 73 or
73.
There was a
82,494.
negative 13,026 already in there, right?
I didn't have
Yes.
that.
Yeah, so we just
So
have
we're adding 60K to that. So
The total adjustments I have is 73,026.
that's what I just
Yeah,
said.
okay.
Okay.
They're talking about the part-time line, should be at 82,494.
I don't have that. I mean, but I'm not looking at it. Is that what you?
Yeah.
You're not
Well, I'm
calculating
not,
it.
I'm not calculating it by that line even. Sounds good. As long as the total for salary and wages is negative 73,026.
Okay, so total salary reduction 73,026 for a total salary of 768,887.
That's what I have.
Correct.
Do you need a moment to work on the FICA per from workman's comp on?
Yeah,
the-
hold on,
She said she's doing it real
FICA.
quick.
Just FICA?
Just FICA.
It's just FICA, shouldn't
2 seconds today instead of 1.
Sure, I get you.
it?
While they're doing that, and I'll let you think about it, Commissioner Brandon, but you asked my second question, was there other cost savings ideas from, and you've already mentioned one with the reduction of a employee, so,
That's it.
okay.
I have a
So
question from Mr. Graham before he leaves. I know that, I believe the last time we met, you indicated that you were working with the electric company and analyzing those bills. Any other utility companies that you're looking at to possibly, or just any other utility companies you're looking at possibly to reduce cost?
Yes, just have to find the time. So our electric bill's the biggest of all the utilities, so starting there first.
Okay. I heard it blowing in the wind, something about Comcast cable. Can you comment on that?
We
And-
do pay a Comcast cable bill. Some offices have cable running to them with televisions that run TV shows in their offices. That's part of the Comcast cable bill.
And so what do we specifically use the Comcast for? Is that for computers?
So we do have, there's a couple different things. So there's are you asking about our Comcast, broadband line, or are you talking about Comcast cable?
Cable.
So that would
Like
only be
TV?
used, pardon?
TV.
Yeah, for television.
And that's all that's used for is for television?
Best of my knowledge.
Why do we have that?
I don't know.
Department heads?
Nancy,
yeah.
Nancy has to have it. But I think it's, but I think his question is in this building. Yes,
The jail pays for their own?
yes, they got a line out for it.
Is that something you can look into, see what our cable bill for television is?
Yep.
And please,
Well, currently in the commissioner's budget, utility services cable was requested is $11,775. And then it's broken down to internet, which is $39,200. And we know phone is on the list, so I'm not gonna bring that number up, but it's so. I think we could, I'm sorry,
tell me about what
phone, like the phone system, the, hardline phones. That's
what?
the hardline phones, like everyone has a phone at their desk.
Oh, the hard
Desk phones, yeah. Which we pay separate. So there's internet, there's cable TV, and then there's desk phones. And then I think there's also reimbursement for cell phone, right? Yeah.
That's right.
Which again is a abnormal reimbursement in the modern market that probably needs to look at. So all those things are part of the,
I guess I'd go back.
Part
and
of the
ask
review.
Any department heads here, is there a reason why in this building we need to have cable TV?
Do we know that 11,775 is for just this building?
No.
Or?
I bet it's for both
No,
or all, except for the jail.
Eileen Swackhammer. Just because I'm in the room, I just want to report, we do not have cable.
We don't. We do not need it. We used to have cable, but we paid for ourselves. We cut that out of our budget. Eliminating now, it's just.
So we need to look at that.
I don't see a reason to take
So to be clear, Mr. Merkel, you're asking me to investigate how many cable boxes are there that are associated with televisions in offices or areas
Yes.
of the county building and the Justice
Yeah,
Center,
I
not
think-
associated with the jail.
I don't hear anybody in the room, those that are here, most of them don't have it anyway, so that tells
Somebody
me that
has
you
it.
probably don't need it, but
Getting
$12,000
paid for it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I have a separate statement to make, if you're good with that.
Yeah.
Based on the $616,000 of reductions that Commissioner Brand and Commissioner Henry have so kindly been able to gather, I vote that we put back the request from Mr. Chambers on the 5 employees that Bill has on his list for the $1,000 increase.
I agree.
and which are those again, please?
The 5 reports to Don's group.
Lines 114, 115, 116, 133, and 134.
Yep.
Was it, Matt, was it your full amount that was requested, or was it the amount that Mr. Hughes suggested in his handout today?
I was going off of bills, but
So $1,000 adjustment for each is what,
what did we have before?
it was a
from-
4%.
oh, okay.
So that, I just want to make sure so we know what we're clear on, trying to come to consensus on.
the total cost, including FICA, perf would be $5,943.
It'll be adjusted though, because we gotta count that part-time change as well as far as the overall.
he was just talking about the 5 raises,
Yeah.
so
Just for that $1,000
roughly $6,000 is what you're saying a year.
roughly.
And to be clear, that does not then include Mr. Chambers giving up his veterans pay? Or that,
No change in his.
no change in his compensation? Thank you, Mr. Hughes.
I support the increase, but are we setting a precedent for all departments to do this now then?
I'm setting a precedent that they found $616,000 in savings, and that as a result, they can afford to get $5,000 back to pay
The
their
answer is
employees.
yes.
So.
And when everyone gets up here and is able to do, not, that's not a valid thing, but every dollar counts. And I think that's our goal going forward, is finding ways of being more efficient, finding ways of renegotiating contracts, finding ways of attrition, all these different factors. So that's my
And I
statement.
would add to that, I put a lot of importance in maintenance. If we let this building, which is now 50 years old, deteriorate, or don't maintain the Justice and Rehabilitation Center, it's gonna cost us in the long run. So we have to have skilled, hardworking people to keep us on track.
Listen, I support it. I just want to make sure all the department heads are treated the same when they come to the podium, and that they're representing for their employees and stumping for increases. And if they're able to make cuts, then, we recognize them all equally.
And
That's my point.
might I add to that those are long-term cuts, not budget cuts they found this year.
Yeah.
And I agree with Mr. Hughes. We put a significant amount of money in our edit plan for maintenance and repair of infrastructure. Can I ask another question? Does,
I'd like to make a comment
yeah,
first.
please.
In the beginning of budget hearings, I was tried to be as adamant as I could as far as if you're able to reduce the amount of employees that you had, and then you wanted to ask for raises for those that were left to help cover the additional work they're going to do. I was in favor of that as long as the numbers worked and you weren't spending more than you were trying to save. So, yes, to answer your question, that's what I was trying to get at, because the bottom line is you're saving, hopefully saving the county money,
Yeah.
and you're getting your employees to work harder for what they're earning. Commissioner, please go ahead.
Yeah, so is there still a raise in for Lee and Jenna?
I do not believe so.
Let's see.
But we haven't put any salary increases in for anyone. We're
Uh,
right now only talking about the 5
We've had a handful. We've made some adjustments and corrections on,
for his.
none
Oh,
for his.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
We got the human
The human-
resource leader, 111,
Correct.
which was added in at this point because
Yeah,
it's
it's a
got a new
different
hiree
position,
coming in.
right?
And the 5 we've just talked about, and as far as I know, that's it.
Okay.
Bless you.
So we originally had a raise in for them, and we agreed to go back to the 2025 levels, and they were part of that headcount reduction where Sarah left, and we pulled Jenna out of HR, moved her to Sarah's position, and didn't replace Jenna's position.
We'll try not to use names, but
Yep.
that is what happened. The move from HR to the commissioner's administrative assistant, whatever
Sure.
that title is a significant raise in itself there. I guess we need to have a consensus so that way Elizabeth and company knows how to act on the 5 maintenance technicians.
I
And,
agree with the 5.
okay. And then Matt recommended following Bill's suggestion of
Yes, Bill's
$1,000 for
suggestion.
each of them.
Yes.
I concur.
You have a consensus on how to proceed there on calculating those. Was there other comments regarding Mr. Brand's statement on the other
Well, it sounds
employees?
like they've done what we've asked them to do, which is to,
Do more with less.
well, so one person's job was eliminated. Now he's asking for $1,000 raise for the 2 that are still there, and I think, again, kind of agrees and goes along with what we've just established. That's a 33% reduction in staff, so I personally don't have a problem with that.
Does this start to cause any issue with our current system of pay salary scale, right? Or a CAT A, and do we have to adjust anyone that's the same?
Got the administrator position, and for $1,000, I don't think that's a,
Okay, I just wanted to confirm.
it's $1,500, but whatever, it's, you know, there's.
I mean, I think if any of the
And I
department
mean-
heads came to us with a 33% headcount reduction, we'd be more than happy to listen all day long to request for raises.
I'm in agreement on that.
I guess I'll just reiterate my point one more time. The HR receptionist went from 35,000 to executive administrator at 43,700.
Is that what the original pay scale was to begin with?
That's the 2025 salaries. I guess if I'm taking a step back and looking at it from my personal perspective out in the private sector, somebody that's a newly hired employee doesn't get a raise after being on the job less than 6 months. Especially knowing that within the department, they got a significant raise to change jobs.
That's what the classification says that they should make.
I'm saying an additional raise to $1,000 additional.
Yeah, they're making the salary.
They're already
now.
making,
Oh, okay, I guess.
so
I'm
now
in agreement.
the other position, HR assistant, I'm more willing to be receptive on discussing that because the commissioners have done an excellent job in their budget of reducing headcount to cover additional cost.
I'd be in agreement with your suggestion.
The only thing I will say to that is the executive administrator, I think's the correct title. They shared that duty for previously with each other. So she was kind of doing that job to start with. Am I correct? Somewhat.
No,
I thought that they were working together on that stuff.
not in my experience.
Okay, then I stand correct.
Maybe before I got here.
Hmm?
Maybe before I got here.
Bill and Brad, do you have comments?
No, I don't.
I think so.
All right, now we've got enough for four. The HR assistant to increase that salary $1,000. That was your recommendation,
Line
right?
112-101, right?
Correct.
We need to point something out after everybody catches up their money here on these totals. Did you say line 104 and line 112 was getting 1,000 or only 112?
Just 112.
Okay, and we need to point out that if you guys are using Mr. Hughes's piece of paper for the line numbers, the 133-101 and the 134-101, those are correct as far as the line goes. However, we just saw a discrepancy between the amount that he had on there of $35,000 for 2025 is actually 41,055. So it brings it to 42,055, not 36,000 on both of those.
She's correct, I was wrong. It was way less.
Which is the books.
But the increase is the same.
Correct.
Regardless.
Yeah.
It's flat.
Right. It makes difference on FICA and perf, so we were
Sure.
just pointing that out.
While they're crunching numbers, did you have anything else you'd like to say, Mr.
No,
Brand?
Thank you for the raises that you've given the employees, and we'll continue to work to find efficiencies and avoid unabsorbed variable, and we'll keep working.
My personal opinion is the way that the commissioner's budget is working, where you're finding those efficiencies and savings is well-deserved raises, especially if those people are going to work a little bit harder. So, thank you.
Yep.
Elizabeth, when you have numbers, we're ready.
Hey, actually, I had one more question. Stephen, is Jenna a non-exempt?
It's a good question. I believe she is. Yeah, I believe she's out. Non-exempt. She's not executive or.
Sorry. The one everybody knows. Hopefully not a big deal. Okay. And currently, we did not make a move on that. You've elevated that position to 40 hours a week.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll make one final plug that $1,000 increase for a 40-hour a week position, new position basically, or newer, to that is warranted. But again, if no one else changes their mind, I'm just making that point.
How's the rest of council
And
feel?
that was what, a 32-hour?
Yeah, all those
32.5.
positions were previously 32.5 as salaried and exempt positions previously.
As we've replaced people, we've moved them from the 32.5 to the 40 as we've brought people
Those are
in, and
down
as we're
too.
moving people around. My goal would be to eliminate all 32.5 hour positions throughout the county.
Same goes with Don's position as well.
They,
Well, I'm always advocating for paying people for working 40 hours, based on our salary study. So, and I know that's something we disagree on all the time. So, because that's something I always stand on, I'll agree with Matt on this one.
with the increased time, yes. Which line is this again?
104.
104.
Employee from 32.5 to 40 hours a week.
I support it.
All right. You have a
I
consensus
don't,
there?
I think we're kind of doing this on the fly, and there could be other positions that would have to be looked at. I would rather have a more comprehensive policy of how we're going to treat employees who are moved from 32.5 to 40 rather than picking and choosing at this point.
And I respect that position. The problem that I have with that is all these people on 32.5 don't work for me. They work for other elected officials. Until these elected officials in other offices make those decisions, I shouldn't be penalized.
Fair point.
You have a consensus from council to move forward with $1,000 on line 104. Yeah. You all heard my comments earlier, so. Now while we're waiting for numbers to be crunched, anybody watch the NR Space Station fly overhead last night?
Yes.
It's a magnificent sight to see. Both my children went out and watched it, and we had a long discussion about how fast it was flying.
It was moving.
You have numbers, Elizabeth, or still crunching?
Okay. So there's been some debate about the interest money coming back from ARP. I know there's been lots of discussions about that. There's a somewhat of a consensus that there's some reimbursement coming back from interest on that to the tune of anywhere from 150 grand to $800,000. In brief discussions you and I have had about it, you think ARP's got some confusion still left to go.
I'm certainly confused about ARP.
Okay. All right. So you don't really know anything about that interest money.
No, I don't.
Okay.
And I know that you and Commissioner Henry previously had an agreement to split the interest 50-50.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Got numbers, Elizabeth?
We're ready. Tanya's not ready. Hold on.
Connie's not ready.
All right. FICA,
Well, hang on. Can we start with the salary component? What your reduction was?
The total reduction for salary and wages as a whole.
Total reductions is negative 66,026 with a total of 775,887.
Great. Thank you.
on FICA, adjustment of negative 4,994. Negative 4,994. For a total of 60,078.
Yep.
And perf, negative 396. For a total of 60,445. And workers' comp, adjustment of negative 804 for a total of 10,169. That changes the adjustments to negative 613,155 for a total of 6,684,339.
Say that number again, 6 what?
6,684,339.
Thank you.
The adjustment again was negative 613,155.
What was the workman's comp number?
The total or the adjustment? You want me to
Both.
all of it? Okay. Negative 804 is the adjustment for a total of 10,169.
Okay.
She was
I was
redoing
just
the
reading
workers'
workers'
comp.
comp again.
Anything else
Somebody
for the
raise-
commissioners while Commissioner Brand is still there? All right,
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Yep.
Dan, did you have a comment that you were, okay. All right. Next on my list, I have a few departments that have requested us to revisit their raises. Requested. Let's see. I'm gonna go with the ones that are here. So, Fred, did you want to speak?
So I did send an email to the president this morning. I did come up with a one-time reduction or give back. You guys should all have that now. That's 40,000, so.
Of what?
What page?
It's my health insurance line.
It's not really a give back.
But it is a give back.
Well, we would recapture that at the end of the year.
Or you'd recapture any money that I don't spend. It's the same
Correct.
thing. It's a give back.
Okay.
That's how all these get backs are.
Yeah, it's a number you can calculate now, is basically what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
What page are we on?
4,
Page 4?
173.
Also, in regards to the raises that Bill spoke about, I obviously would still advocate for the $2,000 per person. But $25,000 of the $30,000 that was requested in county general is the increase in the Muncie contract anyway. And the whole design around those impacts were to help offset costs like raises and stuff like that. So 25,000 of the 30 that I requested in county general is already coming in next year in additional revenue. And that increases every year.
I have a question. The give back, what line and how much was
It's health insurance, it's 1,124,
173.
173. Thank you. I didn't remember that off the top of my head, but,
Slack.
um,
Only 3 lines to.
and I talked to a couple council members. I'll also say this in regards to Bill's point. I do still want whatever raises the dispatchers get. I do want the supervisory staff to get as well, to keep the same spread. That's funded completely outside of county general, has nothing to do with your max levy or anything like that. I feel that they deserve it as well. So that would be and I don't think a couple of the councilors knew that. It doesn't, the raises in that other budget don't have anything to do with what you're trying to cut today.
Is 40 the only money you think you can give back this year?
That was a quick calculation. There's probably more, Matt. There is.
Probably is. Can we go over them?
I don't have it in front of me, and
Okay.
I mean, I can't tell you what's going to happen in overtime for the next 4 months either. So, a lot
Yeah,
of
and then that's avoiding overtime, but you've got,
I have salary lines that
training pay that's only, 20% spent. You've got a bunch of other smaller line items that are not tracking for use by the end of the year. You've got, so I mean, point being, if we do it now, there's more, I don't want to say there's more justification, but there, to some degree there, I guess there could be, but also, again, every increase, increases that budget for you every year. So my point is imploring you to look at all the lines and come back with something, you know what I mean?
Okay, the only thing I was asked to look at is what I could do immediately to solve what Bill had asked. That's what I was asked.
I mean, you've only used 15% of your part-time, 18% of your uniforms, barely anything on transportation, a bunch of the repairs line items, which may have bills at the end of the year. But,
Well, the one that started off with like 151,000, I know still has like 141,000, and I looked at that, but over $100,000 worth of bills come out of that in November, December. So I don't know the
yeah, I
amount.
wasn't counting that when I assumed that was
It's
had to be something.
and there are other
misnomer.
there are other stuff under repairs and maintenance that are software related that don't come due till towards the end of the year either. So I
Point
will,
being, you probably have another 20, 30 grand, if not more. It's probably
and
to go.
I will commit to you that I will sit down and figure that out and get you another number before we finalize this budget of more givebacks. I
also want to alter your 26 budget based on those numbers. That's what I'm saying. In addition to, so you want to fund your increases, that means reducing your 26 budget. That's what I'm trying to get at. See what I'm
Matt, when
saying?
I do my budget, I do an 18-month budget. I can't tell you how much I'm going to spend in uniforms. I can't tell you how much I'm going to spend in a lot of stuff 18 months from now. It's a worst
Over the
case.
last 3 years, you can calculate what you've spent and come up with a better number.
But I don't agree with that because I don't know what's going to happen to them. Just like I don't know if I'm gonna
That's
lose
your-
a piece of
That's your
equipment.
job. Your job is to come up with those numbers
No, my job is to manage a budget and manage an accurate budget and not have to come back and ask you for
And
additional
create the budget.
appropriations.
You have to create the budget first to manage it. That's your job.
Okay, we can agree to disagree.
Okay. Then I'm gonna vote no.
Okay, that's up to you. You're not hurting me, you're hurting my employees, so I mean, it is what it is.
You're responsible for your employees, Fred.
Absolutely, that's why I'm standing up here.
Do you have particular lines that you thought
Yeah, I could, I mean, he can go over them if he wants to come back with it, then that's fine.
for 26?
Yeah, there are multiple repair and maintenance lines, 362, 363, that probably need to be looked at. Training funds, if he's not gonna use it, to be looked at. Part-time line items, if he's fully staffed. Utility line. Fuel.
I
professional
thought we talked
services.
about over budgeting, I mean, give backs are over budgeting, and I don't know how that applies to what we're talking about in regards to pay increases. I think I made a comment last time, if we had all of our department heads over budgeting their department, so they could at the end of the year say, we're gonna give it back, so give us a raise. I just don't see how that applies with what we're trying to do here.
That was the point I was trying to make.
I've never done that. It's not a matter of over budgeting. It's trying to project 18 months of what's going to happen. And I've also told you several times when I've stood up here, I don't spend money if I don't have to. I can give you the best guess of what's going to happen in the next 18 months, but I don't know.
No,
And I don't want to have to come back to you in a tight budget year and ask you for an additional appropriation of hundreds of thousands of dollars because something bad happens.
Fred, at least I'm not saying that you're over budgeting, I'm not saying you're fluffing your budget, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that I think a lot of departments at the end of the year are gonna come back to us with givebacks. And the one thing that I think we've established is we don't wanna hear, I've given you back X amount of dollars, therefore my employees deserve a raise of X amount of dollars. That's not one and the same.
We want the budget to be reduced to a sustained amount that we can count on every year. Now, I don't know how in the world you're going to ever cut ahead, because don't have enough people now.
Correct.
So that's going to be not so easy for Fred. I realize that,
disagree.
and I'm sure
I
that
disagree with that, but that's me.
You disagree with what?
I disagree that, you need more people.
Okay, have you read the report? It says I need 8 more people in order to meet call answering standards as
I'm
our
just
call
saying I
volume is.
disagree with that.
Okay, well, it came from an industry professional, so I'm sorry that you disagree, but
And I'm also not in favor of all the overtime, and we've already talked about that, so again, we're going to agree. I disagree.
Other comments from council regarding the request?
I stand by my proposal. If we're getting closer on the money.
Closer.
Progress today, more than I would have even thought possible, but if we get there, I am still in favor of a $1,000 raise for each of the communication technicians. I'm in agreement with Bill's $1,000 raise for each of the technicians.
I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah, I think he's right. If we can get where we need to be, definitely look at it.
I mean, what I'm hearing is that if the money's there, but you've also stated that you think we're not quite there yet.
Well, we're not done yet. I guess that's what,
Okay.
I'm an optimist.
I'm a farmer, so I'm always the forever optimist, so. But I agree with what's been said as well. I don't think we're there yet. And,
I just wonder, I guess, again, I go back to a comment that was made earlier. I'm hesitant to just start handing out raises like it's Halloween and we're passing out candy here. Because I can already see the line starting to form out in the hallway. Everybody else now wanting to come before us and ask for their, raises. So I just think we have to be careful. We have a budget. If we're going to start doling out raises, I think the council needs to be prepared for that. And I also think that we haven't really considered whether we're going to do an operating balance reduction or not. And I think all of these things are going to play into how we proceed, and I just don't think we're there yet.
I agree.
I think it's a dangerous game too, to continue to ask department to continue to cut in order to justify, because I mean, you get to the point where, you know, employees will be sitting in the dark at some point. We won't be paying utility bills in order to fund raises. So, you know, at what point do we slow that down? So.
More questions for Fred?
Well, one final comment. One way to manage overtime and part-time is to maintain your staff with low turnover, and Fred has been able to do that. If you can recall, a couple years back, he had a very high turnover rate. That's something he has managed quite well. We see very few new technicians on our monthly report, and one way to do that is to show those employees that they are valued.
Train and retain.
Train and retain. Very good.
All righty. Thank you, Fred.
Thanks.
Next I have on my list, Kylene.
Eileen Swackenham, Plan Commission. I did send you an adjusted proposal to look over. What I just want to remind the council of is that any increases in our salary will be added to our reimbursements. So these will be covered by the reimbursements that we receive. The reimbursements do have to be used for planning activities. So they must be used for salaries or other related planning activities. If we do not use this money, we lose it. We are one of 14 MPOs in Indiana, and there is a formula where they figure out how much money is allocated to these MPOs. And we are held accountable by Federal Highway and NDOT and each other to spend that money. So, the planning funds must be used for these types of activities. So I can't say I could, we cut a little bit from our budget as far as our operating expenses. I do hear what you're saying with the cutting heads, but with our office, we're an office of 9 and we kind of have 3 departments. When we have one person doing the entire demographics and zoning for the county and the city, it's not feasible to cut one of those positions. So.
You had mentioned before that our setup of a metropolitan planning covering the city is unique typically.
Yeah, it's unique. It's unique for the planning of the county and city to be together, and it's also unique for the MPO to be combined with the county. A lot of the MPOs, as I stated, there's 14. A lot of them are standalone entities. I think we are one of 3.
What are the benefits and the negatives to both? What are the positives that were combined, and what are the negatives?
Some of the positives are that since we are under county budget, we don't have those separate expenses. We get reimbursed, as I said, a little bit, a percentage for what we would normally pay for rent, lights, phones, things like that. So we are able to claim some of that.
Because you're in this building, you mean?
Because we're in this building.
So it's extra.
Yeah. But yeah, we do get a reimbursement for there's a formula where they figure out a percentage of direct and indirect charges. And I think I said before, that's how we're able to get some of our salaries reimbursed over 100%, is that we're able to claim those fringe benefits. They do take into account the time that people get paid for holidays and PTO as well when they factor that in. So we can reach that 100% of some salaries and 120 of some salaries. So yeah, my argument would just continue to be that if those salary increases are given, they will be reimbursed.
And what do you think the downsides are?
Downsides are you don't have as much control over your budget. MPOs, they can bring in money and they can keep that money. We don't have that ability to build that capital so that we could,
Why not?
because at the end of our budget, once you guys set it at the end of the year, anything that we don't spend goes back. So we don't have a way to,
So if the MPO is separate, that's just you're building up whatever you do.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be under the county.
correct,
Be under the city or just be an independent.
just be an independent.
The long and the short of this is if you don't spend the money, it's lost money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go to bat for Kylie because I think she had some really big shoes to fill when she came into this office. I mean, this was not an easy position to take over. She took it over at a really complicated time when solar was, a hot topic in this county. I had the opportunity this morning to talk to the building inspector in her office about a completely separate topic, but I know what he is doing as far as running around this county and helping in capacities with towns where there is limited building inspectors, and that's extra work that I know that doesn't have to be done by the planning commission office, but they're doing it. They're doing it for Muncie. And so I support this. It's $9,790. And if you don't use it, you lose it.
I agree, and two things. First of all, regarding the reimbursements, again, on the report that Kylie furnished each of us, total reimbursements and fees for 2025, $562,000, almost $563,000. Budget next year is only $633,000. It's almost all paid for. Beyond that, I have some experience with planners and how they're compensated since my son is one. And these are low salaries for planners compared to Indiana in general. And Indiana is low compared to other states. So again, a matter of maintaining professional staff, trained professional staff. I think these are amply justified.
This is an important department to get it right when you have projects.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah.
And then also just one more point on the $25,000 from the city. I know that's only for 2 years, but it's more than we've had in the past, so that is $25,000 extra dollars for my salary. But yeah, the adjusted one is on there. I know we talked about the principal planner earlier. The other rates would be 2% for each employee, excluding the executive director salary.
Why is that?
My adjusted proposal was just to try to get what we could for the employees.
So you're not asking for a raise?
No, not on this one.
And the reimbursement money that you get, I assume that comes from the state?
It's federal.
Federal. And so looking down the road, in your crystal ball, what are the chances that reimbursement is going to get cut?
I had a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and there were some, I don't even know what you call these people, lobbyists maybe? I don't know. They report to CERTA, which is the transportation board. And that was one of the questions they received. Like, are you fearful that our funding's going to be affected? Basically, the answer that we got was transportation is something that we have to have. And they're not in fear of transportation being one of the categories that's affected. So we haven't heard anything now, but it's a hard one to take away.
Bill, you commented that most of the budget was being reimbursed. What is the difference there, please?
What is what?
What is the difference between ask and on the budget?
Well,
and
this current year's estimated revenue
$562,949. And their budget at the present time, I think, is at, well, I don't know what it's at because we've made a change. It's probably closer to 636, 637.
633, 524.
I thought we'd
633,
already increased the principal planner. We didn't do that.
Today.
Yeah, so that would increase it, I think, somewhat.
That was the total after we increased it.
That was after that increase?
Yes.
A given number was,
Your mic's on. 633,524.
okay.
My feeling is
So I don't do
if we're
that
going,
quickly, so whatever that is.
if we're going to do raises for the staff, I think that the executive director, although I appreciate your willingness not to take a pay raise, I think it's warranted that you get one. And I'll just leave it at that right now.
I was looking at your email
Mm-hmm.
and I don't recall if you said this out loud. What is the reimbursement rate for those salaries? How much do you get reimbursed?
So we get 80% for the salaries, but adding those other things we get reimbursed for helps cover that as well. So that's why we've kind of, the total reimbursement dollar can be over 100% of what our total salaries are.
But generally 80% of the salary is reimbursable.
Any chance for grants?
Yes, we actually applied for 2 grants this year and got them. So also looking into finding more of those. I think I said before, I'm fortunate to work with ECIRPD, and they've helped out on some grants as well. They are able to put the time and the work into seeking out those grants and applying for those. So kind of taking part in that with them. But yeah, grants are a good opportunity, and I plan to keep seeking those out.
Is it the ordinances that I have seen you sending our way as board members that you're wanting us to look at and acknowledge and give us our vote on it? Is it ordinances? Now, do you get those just all part of your job, or somebody paying us extra money to?
Nope. Those are all part of the transportation improvement plan.
How much money do you get in grants?
Well, grants that we seek out are grants from federal allocated money.
The extra grants that you might receive?
Well, this year we just did 2 for $5,000 each, so we got $10,000.
Okay. Where does that show up in your budget?
We had to add 2 lines to the budget this year. Or no, I think we put them on 1 line.
Is there bigger money out there? I'm sure there is.
I'm sorry.
Bigger dollars?
Yeah. Yeah, just taking the time to kind of go seek it out and do that. Currently,
Who handles the grant applications?
I did the last 2.
Okay.
We currently have a grant that we're applying for culvert inventory for the county. That's something the county would be responsible for doing. We're applying for that.
So you apply for grants that don't necessarily flow right back into
the office. It's The $10,000 one for this year was for the ADA transition plan. So that was just it didn't go to our office, but it went to our office to pay for the county's ADA transition plan.
Did you have any turnover this year? Have you had any turnover this year?
No.
My concern with where we are is that, well, it's not a concern, it is a concern. It's a concern that if you had turnover, recruitment becomes a continued challenge. So to Bill's point, these salaries are really pathetically low for a municipal our size. So
really doing double duty, city and county.
On top of that fact, right? So I'm in favor of her recommendation.
So what I've heard so far is Bill and Brad and Matt are in favor. All right. Based off of Kylene's initial requests and her most recent email,
I'd like to have the executive director, part of that as well.
I concur.
okay,
How much?
The other employees are getting, is
She put in for
2%.
2%. So,
that what everybody's requesting?
Here, I have.
except. for
Does
the one
anyone need a copy of that?
the email you sent,
Did you give us
an
one
email.
earlier?
No,
No,
she just emailed us.
that's at what, $1,400?
We'll share.
Yeah. We can.
No.
if you've got one, I'll take one. Elizabeth, you do have a consensus to move forward on those. I mean, I want to stay consistent with what I've said from the beginning, which is I'm not in favor of them. I don't think we have the money as of right now. I may change my mind if we get to a point where we do have the money, but please continue, go right ahead.
No, I was just
I'm
gonna
just
ask,
making my
'cause
comment.
you said something about changing the executive director. What amount would we change that one to?
I think that was
2%.
if everybody was up 2%, the executive director 2% as well.
1,400.
I would normally concur with that comment, Mr. President, but under the circumstances, since this is a department that is funded with reimbursements, and again, I think that there was already a consensus of at least 6 people that we move forward with the recommendation. I think we should let that stand.
I would agree.
I just giving you my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm with your opinion too, Eugene. I think it'll be, have to be one of the first to go if we don't make it, so I'm not in disagreement with you.
I mean, my comment has always been that some departments don't have the ability to bring in revenue, so they don't have the potential to offset it with anything. And therefore, are we penalizing those employees because of what department they work in?
Gotcha.
I mean, if that was a situation, I might be looking for a different department to be working in because they have a potential for revenue, and it looks like we're giving raises because they can bring money in. So that's my opinion.
All right, thank you.
I agreed with your first statement. I don't agree with that one.
That's fine. I don't expect everybody to agree with me. It's just my opinion.
Right?
You guys need a moment?
Yeah.
Well, not additional, but if you didn't, you have to spend the money, but it looks like you're already spending the money. Is that correct? So the money that you are already getting back, that money's going to already be spent, whether you do or do not get raises. If your current budget is 636,000 and you're spending 500, I'm sorry, the other way around. You're spending 636 and you're bringing in 562. That's a deficit of $70,000. So we're already a $70,000 shortfall. So there's no way you're going to lose money. Correct?
Correct, but if we pay that extra $9,000 out, we can claim a reimbursement for that extra $9,000.
Then why can't you already claim the shortfall that we're under? Or do you plan on doing that? We're $70,000 short for 2026.
Well,
Correct?
all of our office, so building commissioner, for instance, he's not part of the MPO. So the excess we get for our employees that do work on the transportation side help cover some of those other employees' salaries. Building commissioner is completely separate from the MPO. So it's claiming that excess of 100% of our people who do work on transportation that kind of helps offset the other ones that we can't claim. So
Elizabeth, do you have numbers yet? No. Okay, that's fine. Do you have a comment, Matt?
No.
Okay. While we're waiting on numbers, since we are approaching 4 o'clock, I'd like council to get their calendars out because it looks like we're going to need to meet one more time, at least before our approval of our budget at the meeting on the 23rd. So what's everybody got for next week? And I'd like to throw out Thursday as a possibility directly after the finance committee meeting is over.
I can do Thursday.
Bad day.
That's not a good day for me either on Thursday. Thursday and Friday, I am not able to meet next week.
I'm not Friday also.
On Friday going, I am going half of Tuesday and half of Wednesday also, but, so, I mean, we're gonna probably not have, we may not have a consensus. I mean, if it's Tuesday or Wednesday, I mean,
Monday?
we have a commissioner meeting at 9, so.
Alright.
I could do Monday.
I think I could do Monday.
What?
If we meet at 11 and don't do lunch, is that something we can do?
Yeah, we can go right through lunch. That's not a problem.
I can do Monday.
What day,
Commissioner should
guys?
be done.
I could do Monday. at
Monday.
11. Bill?
Directly after the commissioners meeting is over, or shortly after,
It's gonna be long.
because solar.
Oh. Could we meet at noon on Monday? Start at noon? Give the
I'm fine
commissioners,
with that.
give the commissioners a
Colleen,
couple hours.
what's your opinion about us
Being done by
meeting at
noon.
Are they voting on it Monday?
It's on their agenda for consideration. So they will be discussing it and they'll be.
After they vote, so they're relevant, but,
If we meet at noon, that'll give them 3 hours. I don't know.
okay. We'll start there. If we gotta wait, we wait.
Schedule it for
Yeah.
noon, and if it happens to be a little bit later,
Yeah.
then as soon as the room's
Matt,
available.
did you say you were out on Thursday?
No, I'm here on Thursday, but
Oh,
these two are
Brad.
not, or
Bill,
Brett.
Yeah, Thursday and
Or
Friday are
Brad.
not good days for me next week.
I'm out on Friday.
So Monday at noon. Okay. Getting close, Elizabeth? No? All right.
Do you want to pause and just get back to us?
I'll move on to my next one on the list. I think we all received an email from the recorder, and the recorders want to know about the raises that are outside of county general and her other fund.
Mixed emotions, because to your point, Eugene, if the department doesn't have the opportunity to raise money, that's not necessarily fair, but at the same time, I'm not opposed to it because they have the money in the fund.
It is coming from her perpetuation fund.
Yeah. All of her, every single one of her employees is out of that fund.
She
So I
did
feel both ways.
try to pull them out this year.
She does everything, they always have, ever since I've been on council. they've
Right.
done that.
Okay.
It's not new.
Put one in general just in case it can be moved there.
Their deputy eliminated.
No.
Not exactly, Jim. It's what we were just talking about. Recorder, for as long as I can remember, has always put an employee in general that they would like to move out of the perpetuation fund. And we keep saying, as long as that perpetuation fund continues to grow, there's no need of moving an employee out of perpetuation fund back to county general. Anyway, regarding the requested raises, do I hear other comments?
Have we already taken the deputy out of the 128 budget?
Yeah.
Yes. And that's
Also-
not a request for a new employee, that's just
To move it back.
correct.
$72.
Tim,
I mean,
I'm gonna stay consistent. to
I'm
that.
I'm with you on this one, unfortunately. I do think the fund is there and it doesn't hurt us one way or another, but, you know,
I know.
outside of reduction in benefits, you know, and I know she doesn't really have much of a budget, literally.
Seem to be jumping around from trying to establish, maybe that's what we're gonna have to do, but it seems like first, you know, we're talking about, we don't want to start talking about giving people raises in departments, where they're being funded outside of county general, and then we turn around and talk about giving those people, same type of situation, those people raises. Seems like the only thing that we're being consistent with is our inconsistencies.
Well, I'm not opposed to inconsistency. I don't think I know there's seemingly a consensus of everybody gets treated equally, but unfortunately, that's just not the way the world works. And some departments, some roles, some training, some backgrounds, education, other things all factor into it. I think we did a leveling of our salary study, which just basically helped course correct like positions, but it's not, to me, even remotely how we should be, what we should be utilizing going forward. I think we have to take each individual situation independently. So I am not a proponent that we treat everything the same. I do think there is some unfairness built into the county situation as a whole. It's just the way it is, unfortunately. So, and I don't think competition is a bad thing. If you've got somebody in a position that requires X amount and somebody wants to, to change, like, that's good for them. That's good for those people. If they can get that, great. I'd like to see them apply for those things and try to, improve and get those things done. So I'm not all for we got a blanket method with which we look at this. I'm adamantly opposed to that. I think that every situation is unique.
And what's your opinion on this situation?
I think it's outside of county general, so if I had my druthers, I think it'd be fine, but I need to probably look at the numbers a little bit closer. And primarily from their perpetuation, because I did ask her, I think when we talked last week, only certain things can be done out of those things. And so there was adamancy about that, but
all these individuals perpetuate documents, so that's why they're
Okay.
in there, yeah.
right.
They're all cross-trained.
But then, I forget what I asked last week, but
I would support 2% for each of the 3 employees.
I think my question was about the postage and the printing and the conferences and training.
talking about benefits, they can't pay, well, they do pay some benefits.
Right, for those employees that are there, but they can't move any more. So that's
true.
why my question was, are
But
there
that's
other
because-
costs that could be moved into that?
Right, and that's where it was kind of, no, they can't.
Mr. Hughes recommended a 2% raise
In perpetuation only.
in perpetuation only.
Correct.
Comments, thoughts?
Two.
Their numbers, sorry.
I support the 2, if that's what we just did. Kylie,
Didn't do that for Kylie.
for her office,
Didn't do that for her.
those employees, we did.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did.
I thought we were gonna hold off. and wait
No, we
So-
did it,
No,
that's
we
what they're
did it,
doing, the
but-
numbers.
we're gonna revisit it if we don't hit our numbers.
I think she's gonna have some money to give back in perpetuation, it looks like, too.
Well, it's
If it stays
non-reverting,
there.
yeah.
It does just stay there, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, that's why I said it's a constantly growing number.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I was trying to find other expenses from county general if we place there. Jim, you wanted consistency, and I feel the same way. It's another office that brings in money versus others that don't. And we're gonna reward those just based off the office or department they're in. I've heard Bill say a 2%. Matt's looking at numbers, but he was in favor of a 4% raise. What are the rest of the council?
No, I
Thoughts?
didn't say that. I was in favor of 4%.
You said, all right. Not to put words in your mouth then. What is your opinion on the 2% that Bill's suggesting?
I'm fine with that.
I'm good with 2%.
Same.
All right, you've got a consensus from council. Go ahead and calculate that in. Do you have the other numbers from the planning commission yet?
I'm gonna be real honest with you, I don't even know what you just changed to 2%.
Don't worry about that yet.
All right,
We'll get you- we'll get you
when
there.
we reconvene, you can give us all those numbers, hopefully before that, but, see, the clerk mentioned about comp time. Do we want to discuss that now?
So what we heard was that the department heads were given a wrong handbook. Oh, Rick's still here.
Yes. That's
Hi
why I still
there.
have them on the list.
All right.
The clerks, apparently, department heads did not all get the same handbook, and a lot of them got the wrong handbook.
Yeah,
Um,
but here's the deal, in my opinion, for the comp time, Rick, right? So if you're in a policy like the courts are, where it's used in 90 days, the buildup should disappear, right? You don't maintain balances, basically. Is that fair, Emily?
So I was talking to Rick out there about all this. I have CASA department and then the courts are, they're on two separate comp time policies because most of my court staff do not get comp time in big bulk, you know, so we say use it within 90 days. CASA gains tons of comp time, and he's talking about his people. They gain a lot of comp time usually during election, so that it takes more time for them to use that up. So CASA has a totally different comp time policy because their situation is different. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. I think as department heads, we have to come up with our own policies to govern how we use comp time in a way that we don't carry over, or that we carry over little balance as possible year to year. Meaning, for CASA, we
Really
tell
want
them
football.
yeah, it's a governing thing. We tell them, you know, you have to use up so much comp time every quarter, or you have this whole quarter to use up the comp time. And if you don't use up the comp time, or if you take PTO and you have comp time, you have to take comp time first. So there's little things you can do to ensure that comp time is being used. Then on top of that, we tell them they can't roll over PTO. You use it or you lose it on both. So it's a governing policy that is the issue, not whether we are footing the bill for overtime or comp. It's just like him. You come up with a policy for his comp time. You know, if his employees, you know, calculate, I don't know, 50 hours for election time, then he can say, okay, well, I'll give you 4 months to make sure you have to use that within the 4 month, or whatever he comes up with. You have your employees sign it, and then you use it or lose it. That's my point.
Yeah, so I think if that's the case, but right now, currently, it's been eliminated in essence.
Well,
Forever
the comp time policy I just saw that was sent out
was yeah.
still, it's
Well, there's
still
a reason
there.
why there's been a change, okay?
Yeah.
So like,
I think because currently the comp time that's the problem. It's not being governed in
Yeah,
a way where
I
it's
think-
like you can carry over 75. I don't know what the current comp time policy is.
well, not to mention comp time is completely not tracked outside of the department itself, correct?
Well, no, that's
have no system.
Wait, that is incorrect because every year I have to turn in my comp time, my PTO, and everything to Tanya for GAP audit.
Correct, but you're the one tracking it.
Well, that is correct. Just no different than my timesheet.
Yeah.
We all track our own time,
Yeah.
whether it's PTO, comp, whatever. Yes, we are all doing it as department heads. You are very much correct. And the whole
That's a whole
idea,
other
I think,
discussion.
that's a whole nother discussion. But what I'm saying is the root of this is it needs to be governed by policy.
Yeah, understood. Okay,
Period.
thank you.
And I think he could do that as well.
Correct. So what I would suggest is a revisit with the commissioners to have, so Rick, in your case, coming to the table with the numbers you got in front of you so that if there is say there's a carve out for election as an example, right? Probably the prime driver, you know, that they account for that if there is going to be one, or whatever other solution you all come up
Yeah,
with.
I'm all for that. but, you know, we are at budget time, so I either gotta be able to use comp time, or we're gonna have to put an overtime or some kind of a compensation line in there, because I have to pay these people, one way or another. It's either time or money.
Too late, you haven't put in for it, so where are you gonna get it? at?
Yeah, so I guess we stay with comp time.
I would, and it's not my position, it's commissioner's position, but I would ask that you would, I guess it is kind of my position since you're elected.
I think right now that the thing is we leave it as it is for 2026, let me run that election, and you guys can work it out next with the new clerk.
Well, I would ask that you, figure out a fair number and.
I can tell you, I mean,
You know,
I
rather-
came in unprepared, but I can tell you how many hours they earn. I know what the hours are, so.
Well, fair
you
number
know,
to get
but
so
you-
much time to get, to use it.
Yeah.
or lose
If I can make a comment, I think it's at a great disadvantage for all the department heads and elected officials who had to turn in a budget that the comp time got changed after budgets were turned in. So to ask him or any department head or elected official to try and adjust on the fly after budgets are turned in, especially if we have numbers that we already have to work with. Man, I would agree with the clerk on that. Let's get through 26, get the proper handbook out, and then we're ready to be prepared for 27's budgets when it comes to that point. But trying to hash it out and work it out now, I think we're
And it's too late.
uphill and ice.
That
So,
horse left the gate.
How about that?
Yep,
okay.
agree.
Do you have any further questions or comments on your budget?
Well, yeah, we can talk about a couple things if you want to. I didn't know if you
Okay.
guys wanted to go home and wanted me to come back Monday, or I'll leave it up to you.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Spit it out.
Go ahead.
If you guys want to pull your 142 current 2025 budget,
What is it?
the 142 election, current 2025 budget.
Yeah.
And I agree with what Matt said earlier. I don't feel like we're doing anything great with givebacks, because we're gonna give it back anyway. But since this is some sizable stuff, I think it's worth your consideration. I have over $100,000 left in my contractual budget. I was anticipating some big bills. I can't talk. But I am willing to, right now, give you back 110,000 of that. And I may be able to get back the balance of it. I'm working with Microvote and No Ink to make sure that I don't have anything else for the rest of this year. But that would be a sizable change.
What was that number again? I'm sorry.
It's the 311 and the 142.
Yep.
311.
How much was it?
That's what I'm waiting for.
Pardon me, 110,000 I can give back. And I'll probably give it all back to you, but I don't have a total commitment. They won't hit me with a bill here before the end of the year, so.
We're glad you stayed.
We'll take back one bad thing we said about you.
Pardon me?
We'll take back one bad thing we said about you now.
All right, I earned something, huh?
What else?
Oh, you still
Beat me
won?
to it.
Oh, yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, no, I got one other. In the clerk's budget, $30,000 worth of part-time. I'm not gonna need it for this year. I'll need what I got in my budget for next year, but we'll be able to finish out the year with what we got.
I'm just gonna ask,
30,000.
I know that we have one year left on the payment.
Yes, sir.
Any chance of cutting that in half and making 2 payments?
And no, we got a contract with them. They'll take it out first of the year. I'll lose my voice here. They'll hit us for that one right away.
Could you please check?
Oh, I'll ask him, yeah. Oh, yeah, the whole 30,000, yeah.
Excuse me.
Can you get a clarification? You said give back all 30,000 of the part-time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna use any part-time rest of
Okay.
this year. I'll just get through.
All right, Tanya, go ahead, please.
In what fund is he talking about the 30,000?
Page,
125, right? Fund 125.
Yeah, that's in the clerk, 125.
page 5.
You know, in election years, we have so many people, we work clerk staff in the election room and everything else, so we have to have part-time help to kind of bridge us. But since we don't have an election this year, my clerk staff's staying put, and so we will be all right.
So that adjusts FICA and perf now, or whatever, right?
Just
FICA,
FICA.
No,
just
no,
to
or-
give back.
Just FICA.
Part-time,
I thought that was just a give back.
Yeah, it's just.
You're right, I'm sorry.
okay. It's late, Jess.
It is.
Yes.
Okay, so I got the 110,000. I've got the 30,000. Was there a 40,000?
No, just a
Okay.
total of 140.
Okay, so we must have been.
But it's out of two different budgets now, you know.
Yeah.
One, yeah.
We could ask.
Yeah. I thought it was an auction. I got 30, can I get 40?
Thank you, Rick.
I'm broke. Have a good weekend, guys.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, too.
We have numbers for planning and for recorder perpetuation.
Alrighty. Let's go to the planning
Let's just end
commission.
it with a bang.
So page 32, 31. Ready when you are.
All right. For the salaries, the adjustment is negative 9,510. For a total of 432,990. Deduction.
9510.
FICA, negative 728. Total of 33,448. Perf, negative 1,613. For a total of 43,886. Workers' compensation, negative 114. For a total of 52,040.
Wait a second.
Sorry,
How much?
5,247.
Thank you.
We have been here too long. The total adjustments is negative 13,555. For a total of 643,616.
And then we're going to recorder's perpetuation. Page 72.
Are you ready?
Yes.
The total salary adjustment on that one was negative 2,178. For a total of 126,078. FICA, negative 167. Total 9,997. PERF, negative 244. For a total of 12,956. Workers' compensation, negative 26. For a total of 1,569. Total adjustments, 2,615. Negative, sorry. For a total of 307,682.
307,682.
Yes.
And you're done.
I have on my list the courts. We still have to discuss the part-time. I'm gonna ask council if they wanna keep on going, or if they would like to recess.
How long, it shouldn't take very long to discuss this, should it, Emily?
I mean, I'm hearing a whole bunch of I don't care, so Emily, please take the podium,
You should have said no, go home.
this is, go ahead. This is the last one that I have on the list for today. Okay. Besides Bill's list of the other departments, this is the last one I have on my list.
Is this page 20-ish?
It is page, yeah, it starts on 20. It's on 21.
All right. What I have in my notes is where we left off was the request for Emily to figure out the part-time amount. I think Bill was asking for just 2 more days and Emily gave us a 4-day total,
Yeah, so you just split that in half, 12,168,
168.
yeah.
I'm sorry. So
What is 12,168? What are you talking about?
In addition to part-time, it was a request. Is that correct, Mr. Hughes, as far as just finding a fact-finding, right, information?
Yes.
In case I'm saying this wrong, please correct me, but this would be,
So
Bill was
current-
asking about adding
Right,
additional
so-
part-time to the current part-time, and you're saying bringing in a new person.
Currently, I have a part-time that's 2 days a week in my office, 2 days a week in probation. And so I pay for 2 days out of my budget, 2 days out of probation budget. This person already helps with all the jury venaries and all of that. I can pull her off of that and put her totally 4 days with me. If that's the road we're gonna take.
Then probation would have to find someone to do that.
No, she would be up in probation. Well, yeah, you're right. We would have to find somebody else for probation at 2 days a week, which will probably be a lot harder to find. So that's why I was thinking leave her where she's at, what she's doing at 2 days a week in my office, helping with the jury, helping with calls, covering courts because she does float, and then bringing on a person with me 4 days a week. And then he said, "Well, would 2 be enough?" I said, "Well, I'll take whatever I can get, but 4 days would be a lot better." That's what I said, the 4 days versus the 2.
I must have missed this conversation.
Bill,
So
do you
we're already paying for,
We pay for a half a person.
but this person's already working 2 days a week, so you're just asking.
Well, but she
So
already
it's
has, her own duties which is with all the jury venaries, the jury questionnaires.
Sure.
And so I'd have to pull her off of that and then take her away from probation. So then we're gonna have probation looking for a part-time person for 2 days a week. And see, it used to be split. So he used to have a part-time person position for 2 days and I had one for 2. And we combined it because it's so hard to find somebody for 2 days a week. And so we just always have split this person because it's just a lot easier to find a 4-day part-time person, not 2-day. So then he'll be looking for a 2-dayer again, if we do that.
What is the actual ask, Bill?
I think he was just asking what I could.
The conversation was that Emily needs help. And I did not feel appropriate to put in a new full-time employee because we're
Right.
trying not to do that. So I'm willing to defer to her as to how she could get help by using part-time employment.
Right. So I prefer to have a full-time person, but he's saying, would you do it with part-time?
I understand, and that, I understand the ask, but I think this is the best we can do, and I'm fine with a 4-day-a-week part-time person.
So
Which
what would
would-
that do?
That would be the 24,000.
We would be adding 24,000?
Yes. which is kind of what we took out for the part-time position that probation took on.
I gotta be honest, I'm not for that.
That's fine.
I would agree with Matt. What is the rest of council?
Is probation, is that out of county general?
It's all under county. Well, part of their budget's under this budget right here. And then they have their user fee budget that we put that part-time into their user fee budget.
So is there an opportunity to, within your jurisdiction, move your people out of general into something else? Another,
No,
why not?
because they have to be probation office people, and these people are not probation. Probation user fees have to be used for probation.
But one of the people that you currently have that's working 2 days in probation and two, right?
Is 2 days are being paid out of probation user fee budget. The 2 days a week that she works in probation is being paid for by probation.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why we
So
split
she
it.
gets, right, so the probation, they handle their own account.
On some, yes, on some of their funding, yes. So it has to
Maybe
be
I'm not following,
specific.
and then you've got the person working in the courts,
Mm-hmm. And that-
already working 2 days a week.
And that's under this budget.
So you're really just asking for additional 2 days a week out of your department for this part-time person for 4 days a week.
That would pull her as all of mine instead of half me, half probation.
Correct. And
And
then
then
let the
he
probation
would,
people
he
fend for
would only,
themselves.
right, then he would have to find somebody else
And he's already being allocated for his position
for
of
2
a week, correct?
Correct.
So we're just so we're already paying for 2 days a week,
Correct, out of county
and we
general.
just have to pay for 2 more
Yes, if that's what you choose to, if that's how you choose to fund it.
out of your department.
Out of court admin, yes. Court,
Okay.
court's
And then the
budget.
probation people have to come and talk to us about what they want to do.
Well, they
Or
already
is that
have
you
it,
as well?
they already had it funded for 2 days a week.
Theirs is already funded.
But the problem is we have trouble finding somebody for 2 days a week. And that's why we share the
So we have-
person.
We have a person working 4 hours a week and you're requesting 6.
No, I have a
4 days.
person working 2 days in my office a week and 2 days in probation a week, and we pay her out of each budget. So she works 4 days total.
She's already working 4 days
Correct.
and you just need an additional 2 days.
Well, so here's the two things. We can either, you all
You
approve,
haven't told us, wait, you haven't told us either
you're making it more complicated. You either approve an additional 2 days, and that person that works 2 days in each budget comes over to mine for 4 days a week.
Right.
This budget over here does no longer have a person, and he has to find somebody for 2 days a week. Or you give me a whole nother person for my budget for 4 days a week. That's the two options.
It's getting late.
I told you to wait till Monday.
Okay, so I'm gonna back up. I'm sorry, I just cannot get this straight for some reason. You have one person employed for 4 days a week.
Two.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry, 2 days a week. Okay. Never mind.
2 days a week and then 2 days in probation. But we oversee, so it's one department, but it's two different budgets.
And they're
Two-
working 2
two
days a
different-
week for you and 2 days
2
a
days
week
for
for
probation.
Total of 4 days.
Total 4 days.
that's 3 or 4 days.
And you're asking for,
4 days in my office on top of that. Or you give me 4 days total and this person over here has to fend for themselves.
okay, then let's back up. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get it straight. You have somebody working 4 days a week, 2 for you and 2 for probation.
Correct.
You want somebody to work an additional 2 days for you. So now we have 6 days involved.
Mm-hmm.
But we're already paying for 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Now we just have to worry about paying for 2 more.
So it'd be 4 days in my office
And
and that person's already working for
that
me.
person working an additional 2 days for the calendar year is gonna make 24,000.
No. That person would be, the current person works 2 days in each department, 4 days total.
Yes, yes,
If we add 2 more days on,
yes,
that person would work the same amount of time, 4 days a week,
Right.
just for me.
yes,
Then we would have to hire another person to work the 2 additional days
yes.
to make up that time.
That's what
Because
he was saying, he's got to.
we would have to find somebody else for 2 days a week, which is $12,000 in the probation budget, which is already there. So if you give me 2 extra days, it's 12,000. If you give me 4 for a whole nother person, it's 24,000. It's either keep the person I have and give me 2 days at 12,000, or give me a whole new person for 4 days at 24. There's your two options.
And she's gonna keep the other one.
And I'll keep the other one
At 2
working
days
the
and
2
2
days. So I'd have 2 part-time people at that point if you give me the extra part-time person at the 24. I'd have 2 part-timers instead of 1.
You and I'll talk some more, but let's move on.
Or you guys can say no to all of it.
Well, I think Matt said he was not in favor of it. I'm not in favor of it. What's everybody else's thoughts right now?
I'm just not in favor of it right now. I'm not saying she doesn't need the help, I'm saying
You gotta turn your mic on if you're gonna say anything, Jessica.
Agreed.
Alrighty. Emily, thank you.
Yep.
I disagree.
I have further thoughts relative to things, but I'll talk to Emily offline about that.
I think we need to recess. We need to get some numbers cleared up. And then be well prepared come noon on Monday. So unless there's some vital information council needs to say, call for recess.
all our numbers are caught up in our book,
As of
Correct.
right now, I believe so.
confirming that.
All right. We're recessed. We'll see you Monday.